Right. Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning, and good afternoon, good evening, good morning to people who are joining us from Canada and US, and also from India and Kenya as well, and of course to people in the UK. Good afternoon. Welcome to Umesh Shah Presents Sunday Life and Learn Talks. Today's presentation is on preventative healthcare. The speaker today is Dr. Indira Anand. Dr. Anand is the chair of British Association of Ayurvedic Practitioners and the vice president of British Ayurvedic Medical Council. She has been organizing Ayurveda workshops and conferences in London for the past 15 years. She graduated with first-class honours in Ayurvedic medicine after taking early retirement from her main profession as an investment banker. She finished her career in investment banking as a director at Merrill Lynch, a position she had held for over 10 years. She holds a master's and a PhD in economics and has several professional papers to her credit in this field. She is also a yoga teacher. Without taking more time, Dr. Anand, over to you.
Thank you very much, Umesh Bhai, for this kind introduction. And good evening all to this session on preventative healthcare. The object of today's session is to make you aware of your individual psychosomatic constitution and to make you take responsibility of your own health. Most of today's diseases are lifestyle related because we have forgotten to live by the rules of nature. Nature has a perfect rhythm, and so has our body. But we mess it all up through carelessness. When we don't keep to our appropriate routine, then our body suffers. The human body, like the universe, is made up of 5 great elements. The basic elements are ether, air, fire, water, and earth. What makes us different from each other is the combination of these 5 Mahabhutas, or the elements. Therefore, what is wholesome in terms of diet, lifestyle, and even medication would vary from individual to individual. It's important to be mindful of your individual constitution and follow the rules of dietetics, sleep, and lifestyle. One of the common causes of all diseases is prajnaparadha, sin against wisdom. That is, when we know something is wrong, but we still do it. In crude language, we call it intellectual blasphemy. The underlying cause of prajnaparadha is allowing the mind to be ruled by the senses. Please remember, without disciplining the mind and increasing the sattva guna in our personality, it is not possible to take proper care of our overall health. Ayurveda is the science of life. Umesh Bhai, can we see the whole slide?
Yes, I can.
No, but
Yeah,
no.
everyone can. Yes.
No, this side is not appearing.
I think visible to everyone.
The panel on the right is covering. Anyway, it's okay.
Yes.
If it is possible, we can remove the side panel so that the whole screen is visible, because you know the birds are cutting off.
Okay. Let me see. I will
carry on, but if you can do it,
I'll do that.
Okay.
There is no side panel showing. It's showing the whole screen properly.
Okay, is that right?
Yes, there's
Yeah,
nothing.
we've got a whole slide here.
So
Yeah, we
I
can
can,
all see it.
okay, you can all
Thank
see
you.
the whole slide, right? So life means an integral life. I start with Ayurveda as the science of life. Life means an integral combination of body tissues, sense organs, mind, soul, and consciousness. Their healthy, harmonious functioning is true health. As most diseases are either psychosomatic or somatopsychic, for true health, Ayurveda insists on holistic healthcare. The three pillars of health, according to Ayurveda, are diet, sleep, and brahmacharya, called the three stambhas, the three pillars. Diet is wholesome or unwholesome according to constitution, seasons, time, age, and occupation. Sleep, when proper and timely, promotes digestion, strength, complexion, and maintains body tissues and organs. Brahmacharya is not celibacy, but a disciplined life. Disciplined life following dharma. Dharma is the natural law at work behind this conscious universe. So Ayurveda's, so we have to look at the Ayurveda's philosophy of health before we look at the three doshas. Ayurveda recognizes the five basic elements of Panchamahabhutas as the ultimate physical constituents of the material world as well as the human body. Originating from the five elements, the three bioenergies, we call them tridoshas in Ayurveda because they get vitiated very easily. They are Vata, Pitta, Kapha, corresponding to the active elements of air, fire, and water, respectively. They are the ultimate all-pervasive metabolic principles of growth, maintenance, and decay of all organisms. No two individuals have identical combination of the three bioenergies, as I said before. So therefore, they don't have identical constitution. Therefore, what is wholesome in terms of diet, lifestyle, and medication, it will vary from individual to individual. The problem is we say this such and such thing is good. Now, it could be poison for one person and nectar for another. So it's very important that we have to understand our constitution and keep the bioenergies or doshas in balance, which is the key to health. Let's try to understand the three doshas or the three bioenergies. Vata is combination of space and air. It is the energy of movement and the force governing all biological activity, such as circulation, breathing, talking, nerve impulses, movement in the muscles and tissues, assimilation of food, elimination of waste, urination, menstruation, etc. All that is controlled by Vata. Psychologically, Vata controls quickness of thought, creativity, anxiety, and fear. Its main sites in the body are colon, joints, ears, skin, brain, thighs, bones, and nerve tissues. Its properties are moving, light, subtle, cool, dry, rough, and clear. When you know the properties and you know the sites, you can understand what will vitiate the Vata dosha and what effect it will have on the body. But when Vata energy is balanced, then there is creativity and vitality. It's I'm not able to move the slide.
you press next?
I did press. I'm pressing the next, but it's not moving.
Okay. Do you want to
I put enter?
Come out of the slide mode, and if you come out of the slide mode and then go back, let's see if we can do it that way.
Icons.
No? Okay. Let's let me see if I can open up.
It says stop video mute. It's when I managed to do the first 3 slides, but the slides are not moving now.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Dr. Anand, what I'll do is let me the slides, and let me see if I can share, and then you can just give me a second.
I can say the next slide, okay?
Yeah. So just give me a second, and I'll open up the slide deck.
I can carry on in the meantime.
Yes, of course you can.
So Pitta is a combination of fire and water. It's the energy that governs the body's metabolic systems, including digestion, absorption, nutrition, and body temperature. The principal function of Pitta is transformation throughout body and mind. So it's not only responsible for digesting nutrition, but also digesting concepts. Psychologically, Pitta controls joy, courage, willpower, anger, jealousy, and mental perception. The main sites are eyes, blood, small intestines, stomach, liver, spleen, pancreas, and sweat. Its properties are hot, and behind. Next, this is understanding. Go back, please.
Just a second. Is that where you are?
No. I'm on slide. This is under Kapha Constitution. Kapha. Now, after Pitta is the next one. Next one. Yes. Kapha is a combination of water and earth. No, you moved again.
Right. Okay. There we go.
Yes. So it's the energy of building and lubrication, and provides the body with physical form, structure, and smooth functioning of all its parts. Psychologically, Kapha governs, gives birth to our tissues, moistens food, lubricates joints, stores energy, and relates to cool bodily fluids like mucus, water, and lymph. Next slide, please. Psychologically, Kapha controls love, forgiveness, patience, greed, attachment, and mental. Now, the main sites of Kapha, chest, lungs, throat, head, lymph, fatty tissues, ligaments, connective tissues, and tendons. Its properties are static or slow, dense, heavy, cold, smooth, slimy, sticky. Okay, now, understanding your natural constitution or your Prakriti. Your constitution is determined at the time of conception, depending upon the dominance of dosha in the sperm and ovum. In addition, on the environment of the uterus, diet and activities of the mother during pregnancy. And no change is possible after birth. Constitution or Prakriti is mainly of 2 types: psychosomatic or Deha Prakriti, and psychic or Manasik. Psychic constitution depends upon the dominance of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Rajas and Tamas are considered as Manasik doshas because Rajas needs to hyperactivity and Tamas needs to lethargy, the opposite, and also the deviation. Depending upon the dominance of doshas, there are 7 types of constitutions, or 7 types described in Ayurveda. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, then Vata Pitta, Vata Kapha, Pitta Kapha, and some or balanced constitution. Each constitution has some positive and some negative qualities. Some Prakriti, having the equilibrium of the 3 doshas, is considered ideal, but it's very rare. Vata constitution people are particularly prone to disease because 80% of all diseases are said to be caused by the vitiation of Vata. Next slide, please. Now I'll describe the main features of each dosha so that you can try to identify your own constitution. For proper analysis, we need to look at 30 to 35 physical and mental characteristics of the individual. If anyone is interested, I could send the constitution analysis questionnaire to Umesh Bhai, and you can get it from him. Vata constitution people are lean and thin, have sparse, coarse, and dry hair, and a wavering mind. They have unstable memory, they grasp quickly, but also forget easily. They are quite talkative and have pardon me, I've had a sore throat. So somewhat irritable and changeable and quarrelsome nature, leading to unstable friendships. They tend to be insecure and suffer from anxiety and fear. They have rough, dry skin, cracked nails, hands and feet, and crackling joints on movement. Depending upon the combination of air and space, they're either too tall or too short. Owing to the presence of ether, there is some background noise.
Yeah, I'm just going to see who it is.
So owing to the presence of ether, they could be quite imaginative, creative, and spiritual.
Can everyone go on mute, please?
Even a slight indulgence in etiological factors, they could suffer from Vata disorders and are generally lacking in strength. Next slide, please. Pitta constitution people are intolerant to heat because Pitta is fire. They have soft, sparse brown hair, premature graying, and thinning hair, but regular features. They are prone to getting acne, moles, and freckles, and they sweat profusely. They normally have excessive appetite and thirst and strong digestion. They say if a Pitta person comes in front of you when he's hungry, run away from there because he's going to eat you up. They're generally highly intelligent and sharp. They're high achievers, but could also be short-tempered, intolerant, and highly competitive. They're prone to suffer from IBS, that is irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, diarrhea, hemorrhoids, GERD, which is the gastroesophageal reflux disease, etc. Next slide. Kapha Constitution people have well-knit joints and firm musculature, soft, smooth, and whitish skin, big attractive eyes, strong, lustrous, and plentiful hair, compact and stable body, but find it difficult to lose weight, or to say the other way, they put on weight easily. Due to dullness of Kapha, they are laid back, they have good sleep, and they should actually reduce sleep. They lack initiative, are slow in physical activities, in grasping things, in eating, and in speech. You can easily tell a Kapha person when he's talking to you. They are intelligent, patient, soft-spoken, dependable, truthful, sincere, forgiving, have good memory. They're slow to anger and irritate, but once angered, they do not give up revenge easily. They like to accumulate things and relations and could be quite possessive. Overall, a Kapha person has strong physique, sexual potency, strong immunity. They are brave, calm, and have a long span of life. What is their vulnerability? Flabbiness, slow digestion, skin problems like an itchiness, difficulty in breathing, psoriasis, eczema. They also have a problem with cough and asthma, etc. Next slide, please. Dual Prakriti, that means Vata Pitta, Vata Kapha, Pitta Kapha people have symptoms of both the involved doshas. It depends on what the combination is like. Some Prakriti with all three doshas in equivalent proportion being the most balanced is considered the best, but it's very rare to find. I have come across only 2 in 15 years of my practice. So next slide. Let's look at diet first. The most easily identifiable feature of any food item is its taste, or we call in Sanskrit rasa. Ayurveda identifies 6 rasas by which all foods can be categorized. So sweet taste, when you look at the elements of these tastes, then you can easily assess what taste is good for your particular constitution. So sweet taste is earth and water. Now, Kapha is also earth and water. So it's, it's quite clear that it's going to increase the Kapha, but it will reduce Pitta and it will reduce Vata. Sour taste is a combination of earth and fire elements. So earth, because Kapha is earth, it will increase Kapha. Fire, because Pitta is fire, it will increase Pitta, but it reduces Vata. So then salty taste, which is water and fire, that increase because of the water, it will increase Kapha. Because of the fire, it will increase Pitta, but it will reduce Vata because Vata is dry and you have the water there, Vata is cool and you have the fire there. So it's very, it's pungent taste, which is fire. Now it's the arrow is in your control. It's okay, that's fine. We don't need it. Pungent, which is spicy hot, that's fire and air. That is the best for Kapha. But it will increase Pitta and it increases Vata, but it reduces Kapha. Bitter taste, which is air and space, that increases Vata, reduces Pitta, reduces Kapha. Now, this you can tell by the combination of elements what taste is good for you, but these are broad guidelines. There are many substances have one type of rasa, but a different type of post-digestion transformation or specific effect on the body. For example, Haritaki, being astringent in taste, should be cool and checking, but actually is hot and purgatory in its effect. Next slide, please. Hence, only by the knowledge of rasa, the therapeutic effect of all the drugs or herbs cannot be known. Other factors like, I'm coming to Sadvrita in a minute, but it's very important. It's an important point to make. What's going on?
Okay, sorry about that. Somebody's unmuted themselves. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So just by the knowledge of rasa, the therapeutic effect of all the drugs or herbs cannot be known. Other factors like properties, potency, specific effect, and post-digestion transformation should also be considered. Therefore, it would be best to obtain the relevant diet sheet from your Ayurvedic physician. Don't just go by the rasa. Another factor to bear in mind, which is very important, is that Vikriti or any current disorder takes precedent over your Prakriti or your constitution when choosing the diet. If, for instance, if you are a Vata person, you are suffering from a Kapha disorder, then you would have to choose anti-Kapha diet during your illness. So let's now look at healthy regimen or Sadvrita. That involves paying attention to daily routine, seasonal regimen, code of good conduct, and rules of healthy eating. So we look at each one in turn. So dincharya or daily routine, when we are looking at this, we said according to dosha, time, and constitution. Dosha, there are, broadly speaking, each dosha is active in nature as well as in the body for 2 periods of 4 hours each. We should keep this in mind when planning our daily routine. What are those 4 hours? Vata, 2 to 6 a.m. and 2 to 6 p.m. Kapha, 6 to 10 a.m. and 6 to 10 p.m. And Pitta, 10 to 2 a.m. and 10 to 2 p.m. So just a quick example, the best time to wake up in general is by 6 p.m., by 6 a.m. And that is the best time also for your daily walks, your meditation, etc. But when you look at the Pitta time, if you go to bed after 10 o'clock, particularly for Pitta Constitution people, you won't be able to sleep. You will get sleep only after 2 o'clock. Okay. So now, let's turn to the next. I'll come to Ritucharya, etc. later, but let's go to the next slide now. According to the TCM body clock, there are 12 important organs in our body. Some of you must have heard about it or seen it mentioned several times, which will be at their peak functioning for 2 hours a day. So normal health or disease of any person is dependent on this factor. To lead a healthy life, it's important for all constitution types to keep in mind the body clock. Now, again, we can't go through all the, organs, but a quick example, because we just talked about the sleeping time. Your thyroid, the gallbladder, the liver, three important organs are rejuvenating between 9 and 3 a.m. So if you go to bed late, then these organs, your energy, and you're doing different type of things, your energy is engaged in doing other jobs, then these organs will not get this energy they need to rejuvenate themselves. So that is important thing to keep in mind. Can you go to the next slide? Yes. Okay. Now, these are the guidelines for different constitutions. Because as I said, we have to look at not only the dosha, the time, but also the constitution. So Vata predominant Prakriti people should maintain a regular routine because Vata is moving. So you have to give it stability. So going to bed and waking up roughly the same time each day, eating regular meals about the same time, and sticking to a regular pattern of work and rest. Ideal time for going to bed is by 10 p.m. and to awake by 6 a.m. To enhance sleep, a cup of warm milk with a pinch of turmeric before bedtime can be helpful. Also, to rub the soles of feet with sesame oil enhances sleep. Gentle walking for about 20 minutes in the fresh air each morning is very beneficial. Set aside about 30 minutes each day for meditation. I think that is advisable for all constitutions, but particularly Vata people, because not only they have the spiritual element in them, but because they also suffer from fear and anxiety. So this helps them to calm the mind and enhance body-mind-spirit combination. Regular body massage with warming oils before shower is also highly recommendable. Next slide, please. Pitta predominant Prakriti should avoid overwork and get plenty of rest. They are high achievers, but they also tend to be workaholics. They should try to be in bed by 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Avoid excessive exercise, especially when it's hot. Should not skip meals, very important, because otherwise the acid in the body will start to eat the body tissues. Daily oil massage with cooling oils like coconut oil, sunflower, or Brahmi is helpful in calming the digestion. Next slide, please. Kapha predominant Prakriti should avoid sleeping in the day. It's very, very important because sleep increases Kapha and they are already laid back and they have problems with mucus and with Kapha. And so this is asking for trouble, inviting trouble. Undertake strong aerobic exercise every day. Always wake up before Kapha time. Kapha time, we remember, is 6 to 10. So they should wake up before 6 o'clock. And fasting 1 day a week is very helpful. Next slide, please. Now we'll look at the seasonal regimen. The seasons are divided in India, which includes the rainy season, but we will overlook that because there is no particular rainy season in the West. So the winter season, mid-November to mid-May, and then, mid-November to mid-January, and then late winter, mid-January to mid-March. So we can say from mid-November to mid-March. The digestion is strong, but Vata can be easily provoked, so avoid cold, light, and Vata increasing diet. The need to have a nutritious diet, warm meals and drinks. And as I said, this would generally apply to everyone as a seasonal regimen. But we have to be particularly careful with Vata and the Kapha people. Being the healthiest time of the year, no seasonal cleansing regimen is prescribed. Spring season, which is mid-March to mid-May, the Kapha that has accumulated during the winter months, that starts to liquefy and gets vitiated. Therefore, many Kapha disorders like cold, flu, migraine, asthma attacks, hay fever, etc. are quite common. To remove vitiated Kapha from the body, Vamana or classic Ayurvedic emesis is prescribed, especially for Kapha Constitution people. But it has to be done under close supervision and is quite taxing on the body. An easier option is Yogic Cleansing Kriya, which is called Kunjal, that is drinking a lot of saline water and then bringing it all out. It's helpful for everyone if performed in early spring. We do it at the, for all yoga students. It can also ward off asthma. People who suffer from asthma or hay fever or migraine, for them, it is absolutely essential. And when they know it's in the prodromal phase, particularly migraine and asthma attack, if performed Kunjal at that time, it can ward off the attack completely. All kapha enhancing substances like heavy, sour, fatty, and sweet diet should be avoided in the spring season. Also, avoid day sleep. A lot of people are used to having a rest during the day. In this season, it's better to avoid or have just a very short rest. Summer, which is mid-May to mid-July, with heat-related excessive dryness, you know, Kapha Pitta is a combination of water and fire. But what happens in the summer is there is excessive dryness, so the balance between Jala and Agni, the water and fire, the two components of Pitta, they get disturbed and Pitta gets vitiated. So we must take Pitta pacifying diet. Digestion becomes weak, so diet should be light. In the summer, day sleep is permissible, so you can have a rest in the afternoon. So what is the cleansing routine? Cleansing regime, seasonal regime is Virechan karma. Virechan is purgation and is strongly recommended, especially for Pitta Constitution, to get rid of the vitiated Pitta. Can you go to the next slide, please? Now, rainy season, as I said, from mid-July to mid-September in India, but not relevant here. So we continue to follow the summer regimen in the West. Autumn, which is mid-September to mid-November, Vata gets vitiated because of excessive dryness. You know, all the trees lose their leaves, etc. So avoid Vata aggravating diet like bitter, pungent, and cold substances. We are now in that season, where the Vata gets vitiated. Avoid cold drinks and too much exercise. To get rid of vitiated Vata, Basti Karma or medicated enema is recommended. This is particularly beneficial for Vata Constitution people. The next slide, please. So now we come to Sadvrita. As mentioned earlier, in order to follow a disciplined daily and seasonal regimen and to have appropriate diet according to our individual constitution, we also need to develop Sattva Guna and reduce Rajas, which leads to agitation, and Tamas, which endorses lethargy. Therefore, it's important to follow the yamas, that is the restraints, which constitute the code of social conduct, and niyamas, that is observances, which constitute the code of personal conduct. There are 5 of each. Most of you must have come across them if you know, but I would say that if you strictly follow just the first one of each, for instance, in yamas, if you strictly follow ahimsa, complete absence of enmity towards all living beings, not causing pain, even wishing to cause pain in any way, thoughts, words, acts at any time by self or encouraging another, then the rest of the yamas, like satya, truthfulness, honesty, abstinence of theft, brahmacharya, aparigraha, etc., they will all follow. And, you know, we don't have enough time to go through those things, but I think it's also the Ashtanga yoga. You start with yamas and niyamas. Without the yamas and niyamas, you cannot progress further. So in terms of niyamas, the first one, please, the next slide. Santosh, contentment, is finding happiness inside ourselves rather than in outer involvement. We should cultivate contentment by cultivating inner resources of creativity and awareness, and to be happy with whatever we have. Once there is satisfaction, then the craving aspect of mind is transcended. So if you can practice contentment through these things, then the other things would follow. But the one thing that I'd like to put special emphasis on is Swadhyaya, which is self-study, self-introspection, deep introspection. So that is very important in order to keep everything in balance, develop your willpower, develop your discipline. To be able to follow any regimen, you need to understand where you are right now, where you need to go, and then to develop the discipline in doing it. The right personal and social conduct supports the proper functioning of all aspects of a consciousness and helps control the mind and senses and purify the body. So we go to the next slide. Now, this has been given a separate importance, in Ayurveda, because it's not just the diet that you eat, but also it's you paying attention to 8 factors. And what are those factors? The nature of substance, its inherent properties, like it's heavy or light. So when you're choosing that, you have to pay attention to the nature of substance, processing, which radically modifies the properties of the substance. For instance, yogurt has different properties than buttermilk. So it's the processing that has changed the actual property of the substance. Also the cooked and the uncooked vegetables, etc. Combination of some good substances could have harmful effects. For instance, honey and ghee in equal quantity, fish and milk in the same meal. Now, one of the common combinations we find in this country, I don't know about others, you have orange juice at breakfast time, but also you have cereal with milk, and they are too antagonistic. And this, then the quantity is according to your digestive power. So that is important. And we say that 1/3 of the stomach should remain empty when you finish eating, because it provides enough room for the gastric juices to digest the substance properly. Habitat. Natural habitat is to be preferred, as they are better suited to people of that region. The diet should be adjusted according to time and season also. So it's not the same diet throughout the year. And rules of use, the most important rule is eating on digestion of previous meal. Others, such as eating in a favorable place, neither too fast nor too slow, without talking, with full concentration, all common sense, we all know it. But prajna pradha, we still are talking on the phone and eating a meal. So those are the things to be avoided. So the 3 main faulty habits of eating. One I mentioned already, eating before digesting the previous meal, which will be called adhyasana. Then this vishamasana, which is untimely eating in excess quantity or too little quantity, that vitiates vata. And then samashana, so eating wholesome and unwholesome substances in the same meal. So the wholesome substances will not have any beneficial effect on the body if you're combining them. So it is said, when diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. And when diet is right, and you're following the Ahar Vidhi, there is no need for medication. So can you go to the next slide, please? Next one. So to sum up, holistic healthcare involves observing the prescribed rules of healthy living, dietetics, and moral conduct, with special attention to swadhyaya, or self-study, self-awareness through deep introspection. This is required to develop discipline and willpower to avoid prajna pradha. So regular meditation is a great help in this. Regular use of rejuvenation and seasonal cleansing therapy to promote health and to improve immunity against disease. Now, something that we have not covered, but I'll quickly mention here, following key principles of therapy, avoiding the cause, making sure therapy is contrary to etiology, to the cause, treating the whole person. One of the problems with Western medicine is you take the medicine, gives you a quick result for one thing, but you're taking painkillers or you're taking antidepressants and it upsets your digestive system. So we have to make sure that, treating any disorder, while if you're treating one disorder, it doesn't trigger another one. Treating the whole person. So you can only treat the whole person if you know what has caused this. So if the headache is caused because of you've been through a stressful situation and you take paracetamol, what happens? The stressful situation hasn't gone. You haven't tried to deal with that. And then it will come back again. Ensuring against recurrence by elimination rather than suppression. So you can only eliminate the disorder if you know the cause of it. Thank you very much. And I'll pass it on to Umesh Bhai.
Thank you, Dr. Anand. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. There's lots there to take as well. And we've got a few questions, Dr. Anand, if I can read them out and if you can help with answering them. So the first question I have, is it okay to have yogurt with fruits?
This is so common that people are telling me these days it's okay, there's no problem, but it is not ideal. It's not ideal. So your yogurt and fruit and making the smoothie is such a popular thing here. They say our times have changed, Ayurveda must come, but it is not ideal. That's what I would say.
Okay. I've got another question from one of our attendees from Canada, and she has said to me, she has asked me, she was advised to have a teaspoon daily of a powder called harad powder.
Okay, so harad is Haritaki. Haritaki is actually translated as a gift from God. So this is the Haritaki is actually a laxative. And normally it's taken in combination with other things. Again, it depends on what you combine it with. So I think your patient has the questioner has got, is taking Haritaki on its own. So I don't know what she's taking it for, because according to Ayurveda, Haritaki combined with different things treats different conditions. There is definitely gift from God, but again, it should not be taken by Pitta Constitution people. And if it is to be taken to treat a particular condition, it depends on what you process or combine it with.
Okay, she further says that this powder assists with a number of health issues such as diabetes, cholesterol, and other ailments.
Yeah, as I said, it's a gift from God. It is, but it has to be used in proper, with the proper combination for treating different conditions. Just taking, as I said before, there is no medicine which is, you can say universally can be applied universally. They can take, and everybody can take. It has to be processed according to the Constitution.
Okay, thank you for that, Dr. Anand. I've got another question here, which is, it is known that ghee is bad for cholesterol as it's made out of butter. What are your thoughts?
Sorry, what is
Ghee.
Ghee is bad for cholesterol.
Yes.
Actually,
and some people say that it is very good for the body. for the joints. So, what are your thoughts, and what type of ghee in particular would you recommend?
Okay, the pure cow ghee is considered the best fat. Even the Western nutritionists have accepted that it's the best fat available. Now, again, ghee is good for vata, good for pitta, not so good for kapha. A lot of ghee is not, because kapha is already, although it's good for lubricating the joints, good for people who have osteoarthritis, but for the kapha person, if they have too much ghee, they'll put on more weight.
Thank you. Next question I have is fasting for half a day or a whole day. How much so once a person has done half a day fast or a full day's fast, how much should he or she eat? Little or a full meal?
When you fasted for half a day, there is now one of the modern diets suggesting 14 hours or 13 hours of, so they say if you eat at 6 o'clock in the evening, and then the next day at 8 o'clock, your breakfast, so you've already fasted, 14 hours. Okay. Now, you should eat according to your appetite, but never fill your tummy completely. So I think that would also apply, whether it's because half a day everybody's fasting anyway at night, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's why they say the breakfast should be, it should be a good meal, and you should not eat after 9 o'clock. You should finish your breakfast by 9 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you for that. Next question I have is, are there any Ayurvedic medications for knee pain?
Yograj Gugul is supposed to be, so if the knee pain is osteoarthritis, then Yograj Gugul is the best. But first we have to know whether the knee pain is due to osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, because the treatment is completely different.
Okay. And the next question, so I've got someone here says, hello doctor, I've just been discharged from the hospital with a cough and breathing problems. Can you recommend something?
Again, the very common treatment is steaming. So you can do your gargles, do your steam, and the gargles, something that works like a magic is adding onion juice in your saline water. So rock salt and onion juice. That is very, very effective. And for the cough, I don't know whether that is available here, but there is special tea which is called Gurukul Kangadi Chai. That is very effective for, before going to bed and first thing in the morning. If you have that pacifies your cough very quickly.
Okay, thank you. I've got the next question. What is Vedic ghee?
Sorry, what is?
Vedic ghee.
Vedic ghee.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I haven't come across it.
Okay. Okay. We'll
I guess I don't know if there is a special Vedic ghee. I have not come across this.
Okay. Is there anything helpful in Ayurveda for someone suffering from reflux?
See, there are lots of things which one should be careful about. Okay. The problem depends upon whether it is caused by hiatus hernia or whether it is caused by excess acid in the body. So this, normally it would be a Pitta Constitution person who will have this problem. But Kapha person could also have it. Okay, that would depend on, so there's a valve, which actually, you see in your esophagus, when the food goes down, it should close the valve. But this is like a constitutional anatomical thing. If that becomes loose or is loose or doesn't close properly, then the acid comes up again, and that troubles. So first of all, what you have to do is to make sure that you don't lie down after eating. So the acid, secondly, you want to make sure that you eat at the right time, so that the acid in the body is absorbed, and also avoid pitta diet, pitta aggravating diet, hot spicy food, because that will actually aggravate the acid and it will come up.
Thank you. Okay, next question I have. Got time for a few more questions, Dr. Anand. I'll ask them. If one is interested in learning what you have just presented, what path is advised? I guess you are the master, you are the professor, you are the teacher. So you probably...
No. I'm not teaching, but there are courses running. Okay, there's College of Ayurveda based in Milton Keynes, but you can also do online courses. There's also one in Brighton. It depends on whether you want to actually become a practitioner, or you want sufficient knowledge to look after your own health. So there are short courses which actually help you to look after your health, and even so they deals with diet, life care, lifestyle, etc. But if you want to actually become an Ayurvedic practitioner or a doctor, then it's at least a 3 years course with at least 1,000 hours of clinical training.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you want to do that, but there are, like 1 year or 2 years courses for self, for managing your own health, or even 1 year. And then there are also specialist courses for therapies, because in Ayurveda is very rich. There are so many different therapies which can help your various health conditions without any side effects.
Okay. Thank you. Have you heard of glucofort tablets for diabetes? And is it any good?
No, sorry, I have not heard of them.
That's fine. Neither have I. Is combination of melon and honey lethal?
Sorry, a combination of melon and honey?
Yeah, is combination of money? Money?
Money and melon.
Is combination of honey and melon lethal? Is it bad?
Yeah, I understand it. I understand whether it's bad. Sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I know honey and ghee in equal quantities is like poison.
Right. Okay. We'll take two more, and that let's see. I've got so many messages over here, Dr. Anand. So I'm just kind of trolling through. Just bear with me. So there is one question over here, which is there anything to take for Vata, Pitta Constitution for hair loss or food modifications?
Yes, of course, but this is not something which can be answered like this, because you have to ask so many questions. So I have normally, when somebody I want to see a patient, there is a minimum two-page questionnaire which they have to answer. And also you have to see when it's Vata, when it says Vata Pitta Constitution, isn't it? Yes. How much is Vata and how much is Pitta? That combination is also important to understand what is causing the problem. So I think for that you really need a consultation.
Okay, I mean there is one interesting question over here, and I will ask. Some of the Ayurvedic practices seem quite extreme, such as forcing vomiting to cleanse the body.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have already explained in my presentation that the proper vamana, it can be quite taxing. It should be done under supervision and it should be done on residential basis. But the alternative, which is the yogic kriya kunjal, when you drink a lot of water and bring it all up, I tell you, people think it is, when they think of the idea of bringing the water up, they think it's horrible. But ask a kapha person, ask an asthmatic, how much relief they get after they've done it. I had a retreat where there were 8 or 6 children, and 4 of them were suffering from asthma. And their mothers were, this is a retreat place I have in France. And the mothers were coaxing them to eat, but they won't, the children were not happy to eat and they were so worried. So I said, okay, from tomorrow, mothers don't sit with the children. I'll sit with the children and I'll find out. I made them do kunjal. Children, the youngest one was 6 years old. Can you make a child of 6 years old do something like that? They all did it and they were flourishing.
That is amazing.
It's very, very effective. It's very effective.
Wow. Amazing.
I think okay, carry on.
I think that's there's one question which I think is probably on everyone's minds at the moment, and somebody's actually asked it. Is there any Ayurvedic suggestion for avoiding the virus, COVID-19 virus?
I would say there are 2 or 3 things that you can do on a regular basis. One is Brahmari Pranayam. Now, Brahmari Pranayam, I don't know whether people know about it. Have you heard of it?
I have. I have.
Okay. So, yes, of course, because you've been a yoga student, you're still doing yoga. So what that does is when you make the humming sound, it creates vibration in the lining of your mucus, nasal mucus, and it increases the capacity to fight the virus right here. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing you could do is to take guruchi, which is it improves your immune system, helps your immune system. Guruchi is available, but I know I think probably some of the Indian grocery shops also, but you can certainly buy it online. And the third thing is steam. You can, if you feel that, if you think you have been exposed, you can do gargles, but you see, it's the nose. And people who have a unhealthy habit of breathing through the mouth, they must do gargles. But so many people breathe through the mouth. They don't realize how bad it is.
Yeah. Perfect. I think, Dr. Anand, we've actually gone over the time. I'm sorry about that. It's now 10 past, nearly coming up to 10 past 6. Thank you so much. That was very, very interesting, very informative. If I can remind everyone that I have recorded this session. the recording will be available on my YouTube channel. If you send me your telephone number, then I will send you the link to my YouTube channel. My telephone number is +44 794 182 0801. I'll just put it on the chat as well. And I will send the link to you. So, Dr. Anand, once again, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. It's very informative. There are still quite a lot of questions coming through as well, but I'll park them on one side, and there are some questions which I may kind of send it to you directly to look at as well.
Okay, Umesh Bhai, thank you very much. And thank you everybody for attending this presentation. And my closing word would be, please pay attention to yamas and niyamas. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks very much. Umesh.
Hi.
Hi. If we wanted to get hold of the lady who just spoke, sorry, I've forgotten her name. Is there a way of
Anand?
Yes. Is there a way of communicating with her?
Yes, there is. So if you send me a message, then I will send you the number directly.
Okay, so on your number, or
Yeah,
do I?
yes, send it to me on my number. I've just put the number on my on the chat. It's +44 794 182 0801.
That's your mobile.
That's my mobile number. That's my WhatsApp mobile number. So you can just message me on WhatsApp.
Perfect. Thank you so
Okay?
much. Thanks
No
for doing
worries.
such a good job.
Thank you so much.